galaxy was wide, filled with countless empires, fleets, and armies. For centuries, species rose and fell, fighting for control of trade routes, resources, and star systems. Among them, one region had become famous for being strangely quiet: Terran space. Terran space was the place where humans had once lived. Long ago, they built colonies, fleets, and cities among the stars. But then they disappeared. No one knew why. Some said disease destroyed them. Others believed internal wars ended their race. The truth was lost. To the younger empires, Terran space became a joke, a ghost territory. Empty worlds, silent stations, and ruins scattered across dozens of systems. Explorers went there and never found humans, only dust and dead technology. So when the Kargan Dominion, a reptilian empire proud of its military strength, decided to expand, they looked at Terran space with greedy eyes. "Why waste time on real enemies?" laughed General Zorath, commander of the Dominion fleet, "when we can take these abandoned human systems with ease. No army, no resistance, just free land for us." The fleet cheered. 30 warships, armed with plasma cannons and missile bays, entered Terran borders. Their banners glowed bright in the void. To them, this conquest would be simple, fast, and bloodless. But they were wrong. The first system they entered looked lifeless. A burned-out star station drifted in orbit, its lights dead. On the surface of a nearby planet, the ruins of a human city spread across the desert. Towers broken, streets silent, no movement anywhere. The Kargan soldiers landed, walking through the ruins. Dust crunched under their boots. Their laughter echoed in the hollow streets. Humans were weak, one soldier sneered. They left nothing but trash behind. "Better for us," another said. "We'll strip this world and build our fortresses here." They thought no one was watching, but in the shadows of the broken towers, old cameras blinked. In the tunnels beneath the city, silent machines stirred. In the dark corners of the system, sensors long hidden came alive. The Terrans were not gone. They were watching. High above, in the flagship of the Dominion fleet, General Zorath leaned back in his command chair. His claws tapped the armrest as he looked at the ruins on the view screen. "So this is Terran space," he muttered. "Pathetic. Not even worth the effort." His advisor bowed. "Then why claim it, General?" Zorath bared his teeth in a grin. "Because when we take it, the galaxy will see our power. They will fear the Dominion. And if the humans still exist somewhere, they will know that we crushed their old home." The bridge crew laughed. But far below, deep under the ruins, another voice whispered in the dark. It was not alien. It was human. Intruders detected. Protocols active. In a hidden bunker beneath the desert city, a small group of humans stood around glowing screens. They were not many, only a few thousand on this world. But they had survived in secret for centuries. They had hidden from alien eyes, waiting, preparing. Their leader, Commander Lyra Hale, watched the screens as red warning signs lit up. Her jaw tightened. "So, they finally came." An officer beside her swallowed nervously. "Should we reveal ourselves, Commander?" Hale shook her head slowly. "Not yet. Let them think this space is empty. Let them grow arrogant. We'll show them when the time is right." The officer nodded, but fear was in his eyes. The Dominion had 30 warships. The humans had only hidden weapons, old stations, and silent machines. But Hale's gaze was sharp. She knew something the aliens did not. Humanity had never truly left. They had been watching, learning, preparing for this day. On the surface, the Dominion soldiers laughed as they raised their banners in the ruins. They broadcast the message across the stars: "Terran space is ours. The humans are dead. The Dominion reigns here now." Their signal echoed across nearby systems, arrogant and loud. Many alien empires saw it and nodded. To them, it was no surprise. Who would fear humans? But in hidden corners of space, human transmitters captured the broadcast. On secret colonies, on shadow stations, in asteroid bases, all across Terran space, survivors received the message, and every time they heard it, their blood burned hotter. Commander Hale stood tall, her voice firm. "They think we are gone. They think we are weak, but they will learn the truth soon enough. Terran space is not empty, it is ours, and no one takes it without a fight." Far above, The Dominion fleet began moving deeper into Terran territory. They believed they were conquerors marching through empty land, but around them the shadows shifted. Old satellites moved. Hidden defenses powered on. Silent ships adjusted their positions. The Terrans were still here, and they were ready. The Kargan Dominion fleet spread across the second Terran system like hungry predators. 30 warships moved in formation, engines glowing red. They expected nothing but silence and dust. The first planet they scanned was covered in jungle. Ancient ruins stood half swallowed by vines. Orbiting it was an old Terran defense station, burned, broken, its weapons destroyed. General Zorath grinned when he saw it. Another dead world, another prize for us. The fleet moved closer, careless, unafraid, but the ruins were not as dead as they seemed. Deep inside the broken station, a single Terran AI core still lived. It had been sleeping for centuries, silent, waiting for a signal. Now, the Dominion's arrogant broadcast had woken it, its voice whispered into the dark. Hostile forces detected. Defense sequence Alpha 3 initiated. The broken station lit up. Rusted panels groaned. Old weapon bays creaked open. The aliens laughed when they saw it. "Look at that junk." One Kargan officer jeered. "It can't even power itself properly. What threat is that?" But then the first shot fired. A beam of focused energy lanced out from the ruined station, slicing through the void. It struck a Dominion cruiser across the hull, cutting deep. Alarms screamed. The mighty warship, once proud, split in two and exploded in silence. The bridge of the Dominion flagship shook with shock. "What?" Zorath roared. That station was dead. Another beam fired, hitting a second warship, tearing through its shields. The Dominion scrambled, returning fire. Plasma blasts smashed into the old station, ripping away chunks of metal. But the Terran AI kept fighting, cold and merciless. Hidden in the jungle below, humans watched from underground bunkers. Screens showed the battle above. The younger ones gasped. "They are fighting back." "It's working." Commander Hale stood silent, her eyes sharp. She knew the station was old. It could not win. But it didn't need to win. It only needed to show the enemy one truth. Terran space was not undefended. The Dominion finally destroyed the station after heavy bombardment. It broke apart in fire, scattering across orbit. The aliens cheered, proud of their victory, but beneath their celebration was unease. 2 warships destroyed by a station that should have been nothing more than a rusted relic. On the flagship, Zorath growled. His pride burned at the thought that he had lost ships to ancient human junk. "Pathetic tricks," he spat. "The humans left traps behind. That's all. Once we clear them, this space is ours." His officers bowed, but whispers spread among them. If one broken station could do this, what else might be hidden in Terran territory? Back in the human bunker, Commander Hale spoke calmly to her people. "They know now. The first blood has been drawn, but this is only the beginning. We will not fight them head-on yet. We make them bleed slowly until they realize where they are." Her officers nodded. The humans had waited in silence for centuries. Now they would make the invaders pay for every step they took. The Dominion fleet pushed deeper into Terran space. They were angry now, eager to crush anything in their way. But wherever they went, small attacks followed. A patrol ship vanished in an asteroid field. A supply ship exploded when it docked with a derelict human station. Hidden drones struck from the shadows, firing missiles before vanishing again. Every victory the Dominion claimed tasted bitter, because with every step forward, they lost more ships. In the galactic core, other empires watched the reports with amusement. "The mighty Dominion struggles against ghosts," one alien ambassador laughed. "Humans were weak," another said. "They cannot possibly be alive. It is just old tech firing blindly," but in private fear grew. What if the humans were still here? What if Terrans had been hiding all this time? On the frontier, the Dominion pressed on. They wanted proof that humans were gone, proof that no real enemy remained, and soon they would get their answer. For in the heart of Terran space, far deeper than they dared to imagine, something ancient was waiting. Not ruins, not broken machines, a fleet, and it was waking. The Dominion fleet limped deeper into Terran space. What was meant to be an easy conquest now felt like walking through a field of knives. Out of 30 warships, 6 were already gone. Some destroyed by old defense stations, others lost to traps and hidden drones. Each battle was small, but together they bled the fleet. General Zorath's temper burned hotter with every loss. On the bridge of his flagship, his claws dug into the armrest. These are tricks, nothing more. The humans are gone. Their machines fight blindly, but they cannot last forever. His words were strong, but even his officers no longer looked convinced. Whispers spread through the fleet. What if the humans were not extinct? The Dominion advanced into the third system, expecting more ruins. Instead, they found a surprise. Orbiting a blue-green planet was a vast Terran shipyard. From a distance, it looked dead. Broken metal frames drifting in silence, scaffolds collapsed, lights long extinguished. Another ghost. One officer sneered. Zorath smirked. Then let us burn it. Wipe away these ruins once and for all. The fleet opened fire, plasma bolts ripping through the abandoned frames. Metal shattered, debris scattered into orbit. But as the shipyard broke apart, something else stirred inside. From the wreckage, small ships launched. Not broken drones, but sleek Terran fighters. Their hulls were black, designed to hide in shadows. Engines burned silently, weapons glowed sharp. They moved like predators released from a cage. Contact. Multiple ships inbound. A Dominion sensor officer shouted. How many? Zorath demanded. Unknown, dozens, maybe more. They're fast. The Terran fighters swarmed the Dominion fleet. They darted between the heavy warships, firing missiles and beam shots. A destroyer's engines exploded, sending it spinning out of control. Another warship lost shields in seconds under concentrated fire. The Dominion fought back, cannons roaring. Fighters exploded in bursts of light, but for every one destroyed, two more appeared. The sky became chaos. Where did they come from? An officer gasped. Zorath snarled. The humans are here. They have been hiding all this time. Deep in the hidden bunker, Commander Hale watched the battle unfold on her screens. Her people stood tense, some cheering as Dominion ships fell. Should we reveal the fleet, Commander? An officer asked. Hale shook her head. Not yet. The time is not right. For now, the fighters will bleed them. The enemy must believe they are fighting shadows, not the full strength of Terrans. Her voice was steady, but her eyes burned with fire. This was only the beginning. The battle raged for hours. The Dominion fleet eventually drove the fighters back, destroying many. But the cost was heavy. 4 more warships gone. Several damaged. Supplies running thin. Zorath stood on his bridge, breathing hard, fury boiling inside him. These humans, they are cowards. They strike from shadows and flee. If they are truly alive, let them face us openly. Let them fight like warriors. But his crew said nothing. In their hearts, fear had begun to grow. News of the battle spread quickly through the galaxy. The Dominion tried to silence it, but whispers leaked out. Terrans alive? No, impossible. They vanished centuries ago. Then who fights in their ruins? Who commands those ships? The galaxy had long thought humans were only a memory. Now, that memory was becoming a nightmare. In the dark heart of Terran space, far from the Dominion fleet, great engines rumbled. Vast shadows stirred among asteroid fields. Old but powerful warships, hidden for centuries, began to awaken. One by one, their systems came online. Reactors glowed. Weapons charged. Crews, descendants of those who had survived in secret, took their stations. The Terran fleet was no longer sleeping, and soon, the galaxy would see it. The Dominion fleet drifted deeper into Terran space, but their formation was broken. Of the original 30 warships, less than 20 remained fully battle-ready. The rest carried scars, burned hulls, damaged engines, and nervous crews. General Zorath stood on his bridge, his eyes burning with anger. He had promised his Dominion leaders an easy conquest, but instead, he had found resistance. Resistance from an enemy long thought dead. Still, he told himself the humans were weak. Their fighters were many but small. Their traps were clever but old. They could not match the power of the Dominion. At least that's what he believed. The fleet entered the 4th Terran system. At first it seemed empty. A dead sun, broken asteroids, a silent space station drifting in the dark. Nothing here, one officer muttered. Then we make camp, Zorath said. We repair here before pushing deeper. The Dominion ship slowed, spreading out across the system. Crews exhaled in relief. But the silence did not last long. Suddenly, alarms screamed. Sensors lit up across the Dominion screens. Contacts! A technician shouted. Multiple warp signatures closing fast. How many? Zorath demanded. The officer's voice shook. Too many. Hundreds! Out of the dark came the Terran fleet. They emerged from asteroid shadows, from behind moons, from hidden warp points. Massive warships, black and angular, older than most living empires, but alive, awake, and armed. Their hulls bore the scars of ancient battles, but their weapons glowed with deadly power. At their head was the Terran flagship, the Resolute. A giant of steel, its cannons glowing like suns, its engines thundering in the void. For centuries it had been silent. Now it roared back to life. On the Dominion flagship, silence fell across the bridge. Even General Zorath froze, his claws gripping the armrest. This is impossible, he whispered. His crew stared at the viewscreen, wide-eyed with terror. The humans were not gone. They had been waiting, watching, preparing. The comms channel opened. A human voice echoed across the void, calm and sharp. This is Commander Lyra Hale of the Terran fleet. You have trespassed on our space. You thought us dead. You thought us weak. Now you will learn the truth. For a moment, the galaxy itself seemed to hold its breath. Then the Terran fleet attacked. The void lit up in fire. Terran cannons thundered, beams tearing through Dominion shields like paper. Missiles streaked through the dark, exploding against reptilian hulls. A Dominion destroyer tried to flee, only to be sliced in half by a single blast from the Resolute. Another warship fired back desperately, but Terran shields absorbed the blow and returned fire with merciless precision. The Dominion fleet had numbers once. Now they were outmatched in every way. Return fire. Zorath roared. Fight them, fight! His warships unleashed plasma storms, filling the void with fire. Terran fighters weaved through the blasts, striking weak points with deadly accuracy. Dominion cruisers exploded one after another, their wreckage scattering like broken bones. On the bridge of the Resolute, Commander Hale stood tall. Her people worked with silent discipline, their faces hard with determination. They had hidden for centuries, forced to watch the galaxy forget them. But now, they were no longer shadows. Target their flagship, Hale ordered. The Dominion flagship shook as Terran fire slammed into it. Shields cracked, alarms screamed. Zorath's crew panicked, some begging to retreat. Cowards! Zorath roared, his pride refusing to yield. We are the Dominion. We will not bow to ghosts. But ghosts or not, the humans were winning. One by one, Dominion ships fell. Fire spread through the fleet. The black Terran warships pressed forward, cold and unstoppable. It was not just a battle, it was a declaration. Humanity had returned. Far away across the galaxy, other empires received the first reports. Their spies carried whispers of the battle. The Terrans, they're alive. Not just alive, stronger than before. If they can crush the Dominion fleet, what else are they hiding? For the first time in centuries, the galaxy trembled at the name of humans. Back in the system, Zorath's pride finally shattered. His fleet was broken, his forces destroyed. He bared his teeth, fury and fear mixing in his eyes. We underestimated them, he admitted at last, but it was too late. The Terrans were done hiding, and this was only the beginning. The battle was over. Terran ships floated victorious in the silent void. Wreckage of Dominion warships drifted like broken bones, their fires dying in the cold. Of 30 warships, only a handful survived. The humans had won. On the bridge of the Resolute, Commander Lyra Hale stood tall. Her crew worked silently around her, their faces hard, their eyes shining with the fire of victory. For centuries they had waited for this day. Now the galaxy would remember. Report, Hale ordered. Dominion fleet destroyed, her officer replied. Only a few survivors escaping. Should we pursue? Hale shook her head. No, let them run. Let them carry the message back to their masters. Let the galaxy know what happened here today. Her voice was steady, but her heart carried weight. This was not just a battle. It was a warning. On the Dominion flagship, chaos filled the bridge. Fires burned, crews screamed, systems failed. General Zorath sat in silence, staring at the screen where the Terran fleet stood victorious. He had come expecting an easy conquest. Instead, he had found the rebirth of a nightmare. Humans, alive, strong, unbroken. As his crippled ship limped away with the few survivors, shame burned in his chest. He knew what awaited him: humiliation, punishment, and fear. But worse than that, he knew the galaxy would change forever. Across the stars, whispers spread faster than light. The Terrans live. They destroyed a Dominion fleet. Humanity has returned. Some empires laughed nervously, pretending not to believe. Others began to prepare, strengthening their fleets. And some trembled, remembering old wars with humans long ago. For every empire knew one truth: humanity never fought small. If they had survived in silence for centuries, then what power had they built in the dark? Back in the Terran bunker, survivors cheered. For generations they had lived in shadows, hiding, waiting, praying their people would rise again. Now the stars themselves carried proof they were not forgotten. Commander Hale looked out the viewport at the debris of battle. Her voice was calm, but her words carried the weight of an entire race. They thought Terran space was easy to conquer. They thought we were gone. But now they know. Humanity endures. Humanity fights. And humanity will never bow. In the distance, more Terran ships came alive. Giant carriers, stealth cruisers, ancient dreadnoughts reawakening after centuries of silence. Their engines glowed, their weapons powered, their crews prepared. The humans had revealed themselves at last. And this was only the beginning.